Hey guys, this is Matt the Lawn Care Little Guy, and this is a special Father's Day edition on YouTube. Daddy's going to Lowe's.
Okay.
Thank you, baby. Probably ready to charge it up again, almost. I think it's slowing down.
Why is it rained on?
Oh, I took it through a puddle.
Ready?
Perfect.
You know what? I'm getting a little hungry. I think it's lunchtime. Where am I going to go? Stick around and watch. Alrighty guys, Panda Express it is. I wanted to do a Chinese buffet, but I don't think I have the time for that on this particular Father's Day. So I love Panda too, so that's what I'm going to do. Hey, but before I go in there, I want to answer a question from one of my subscribers. Here's a clip.
Hey, lawn care little guy. I got you this question for you here. Now, I would like to know 5 pros and cons about scalping my yard.
All right, so thank you for that question, and I'm going to try to answer it to the best of my ability. And I need to preface this segment with letting you guys know that this is an unstudied answer. This is not an answer that is going to be something that you're going to want to solely rely on. Do your research beforehand if you want to scalp your lawn. But what I can offer is the little guy's perspective on that and some things that I have heard. Okay, I'll start off with the things that I've heard. I have heard that under no circumstances is scalping good because it causes injury to the grass, and that is not a wrong perspective. That is actually a correct perspective if you scalp in the wrong time of the year or for the wrong purposes. And sometimes you can even scalp too low if the grass has an above ground root system such as Bermuda. It will actually injure some of that root system and stunt its growth, which is not the purpose of scalping. Okay. Now, if it's done the wrong season, you lose that protection where it retains moisture in the hottest times of the year, and then also it doesn't have the insulation in the winter to protect that above ground root system. Now, I keep on using that terminology, above ground root system, because what we commonly deal with here is Bermuda grass, and Bermuda grass has that. In other parts of the country, it might actually be different. So, when not done correctly and in the proper season, scalping your grass can actually be very, very detrimental to your grass. It could even kill it. So don't do it in the wrong time. And those are the 2 times that I don't think most obvious reasons why you should not scalp your grass. Okay, now when should you scalp your grass? If you're going to do it, you should do it in the springtime or just before the growing season for your grass type. Okay, for us, it's going to be like that April time frame, that springtime, just before the green up for Bermuda, just before it starts growing. Okay, now why would you scalp it? What it does is actually exposes some of the soil and the root system to the sunlight and the water that it needs for a green up to get itself going, and that is something that you would like to promote. And that is what the purposes of it is, for an early green up so it looks nicer. Now, the other reason why you might scalp is to take some excess growth, some dead growth off of the top of it. That's not going to be doing anything except for creating thatch. They may call it a thatch. Some people even call scalping dethatching when you take that top portion off that's dead and brown. That's accurate in some ways, and in other ways it's not accurate, but that might be for another segment. Scalping would just be taking your grass down as low as it possibly can go without hitting the above ground root system. I believe they call them rhizomes. Not all grass has rhizomes, but ours does. So that leads me to the obvious next question, which would be, how do you scalp? Well, how do you scalp? It's taking your grass down to about an inch, or even sometimes even less than an inch. In some terrains, an inch and a half might be sufficient, because you might be knocking molehills off of it, and you don't want to do that. You just want to take as much of that grass blade off as possible while leaving some. So about an inch. And if you can get it lower than an inch, but you don't want to hit those rhizomes. Like I said, that could cause injury to your grass, and you don't want to do that. Okay, now it's going to be very, very difficult, because that's going to be the thickest part of your grass, which leads me to another negative of why you may not want to scalp your grass, and it's because it's very, very difficult and hard on your equipment. So if you don't mind a little bit of extra wear and tear on your equipment, then by all means, in the proper season and for the proper purposes, go ahead and scalp your grass, okay? But it will take a toll on your equipment, on your pulleys, on your engine, on your belts. Everything in that powertrain is going to work harder, and that is going to shorten the life of your equipment. So some guys just prefer not to do it at all, okay? So why actually would I scalp my grass? Well, I've done it when I've wanted to change over my grass type. I've changed some grasses over to Bermuda, or from Bermuda into ryegrass, and I've taken all the Bermuda down after its growing season, and I planted a cool season grass in the fall time. Now, you might notice I said fall time, and I said don't do it in the fall time. Yes, that is absolutely true. But I did it because I was changing over to a cool season grass, and the fall time is the proper time to plant most of your cool season grasses, and I was not concerned about injuring my Bermuda because I was changing it over anyway. But that is one thing. When you're wanting to establish maybe a new lawn renovation, you might scalp it all the way down to the ground before you put seed. And the reason for that is so you can have good seed to soil contact. That's critical when you're growing seed. Another reason why you might want to scalp is to remove that thatch. I talked about that earlier, and some people do that every single year, but the time to do that is actually in the springtime, the early springtime, after the last freeze of the year. That would be an appropriate time, and what that does, it promotes up an early green. So anyways, I'm rambling on right now, but now you have the little guy's perspective, and thank you for the question. I hope I answered it sufficiently. Remember to always do your research for your area on the proper times when you might want to actually scalp your lawn, because you may not want to. You've just heard that it's a good thing to do, and you may not want to, or it may not be the proper time. So do your research. Now you have the little guy's perspective. Thanks for watching. And now I think I'm going to go in and eat some panda. I think I'll do orange chicken.
What else?
And the teriyaki chicken.
You want teriyaki sauce in the side, sir?
That'd be great.
Anything else? One more?
And an egg roll.
Any spring roll?
If you guys have any other questions about this topic or any other topic, go ahead and feel free to put them in the comments below. If the little guy doesn't know the answer, he'll be sure to do the research and find something out for you. And I'll probably make a video about it. So thank you for the question. I hope that it was good information for you guys. Something else I'd like to bring up is actually the little guy's community cabinet. I've checked my P.O. box and I haven't gotten anything yet, and I think I know the reason why. Originally, when I posted a video where I got my new address, I realized that I forgot a number on the zip code. So if you actually sent me something, there's a good chance it's going to get returned to you, and I apologize for that. The little guy would love to send you a stamp back in return to pay for that stamp. So anyways, so if you have anything for my cabinet, the address is now correct in the description. Feel free to send it to me. I'll get you up on the cabinet, talk about you really in a positive way, and promote your channel or your Instagram or whatever it is that you have, or just to give you guys some exposure. Just say thank you for watching my channel. The other thing that I'd like to talk to you guys about is actually my t-shirts. I'm wearing one right now. It's a Lawn Care Little Guy, and I sell t-shirts on Teespring. There's a link in the description as well, and all profits for the t-shirts actually goes to Save the Storks charity, nonprofit. I don't take any money from it, so get yourself a Lawn Care Little Guy t-shirt and support the stork. If you don't know what Support the Stork is, or Save the Storks, I've got a link to their website in the description. Go ahead and check them out, and if you like the idea behind that nonprofit, go ahead, pick yourself up a t-shirt. So up next is a little bit of mowing, blowing. That's all from last week, so I just didn't have time this week to get any footage out on the turf, so I hope you enjoy it. It really does look good. Let me show you guys the finished product. I know, guys. Don't talk about my crack like that. I'm gonna clean them. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed the footage. While you guys are watching that, I actually finished up my lunch and I came to Panera Bread, and I'm just going to enjoy this coffee. I was amazed. I walked up and I just said, just a large coffee, and she goes, "Oh, well, here you go." So happy Father's Day to me. I got me a free coffee today. And so anyways, like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed the footage. I hope you guys enjoyed the Father's Day edition of this video, and the time has come now for tag time. And in the spirit of Father's Day, I just wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about your dads. You know, my dads. I've got actually 3 dads. I know that sounds kind of funny, but let me explain to you guys what I mean by that. First of all, I got my biological dad, right? And my parents divorced when I was 5, so my biological dad, we just got the weekend visit type of thing. And then when I got older, I kind of went off and did my own thing. And you know, I wish things were better between me and my dad. There's nothing particularly wrong with it, but it's just, you know, when things like that happen when you're younger, your dad may or may not be able to do the things that normal dads do, you know, when the parents stay together. So of course, you know, that has affected me in many ways, but I'll tell you some good things about my dad. My dad, he gave me an important decision to make, and that was either to go in college or to go in the military. And that was one of the best things that he ever did for me, because when I went in the military, it really changed my life forever. And I'm indebted to my dad for being a firm dad that was able to teach me responsibility and to teach me right from wrong, and just a number of different things along those lines that are very, very important now, especially as I'm raising my family. And many good things that are me are from my biological dad, and I can't say enough for what he's done for me, though I spent most of my time away from him. But things weren't perfect, right? You know, but we all do the best that we can. And then I've got my stepdad, right? My stepdad, he taught me all kinds of different things, and I also call him Dad. Now, he taught me a lot of things about what it meant to serve. He is an amazing servant, you know. And before I met him, and before he came to know the Lord, or after he came to know the Lord, he really taught me a lot about that. He modeled servanthood and sacrifice and putting others, or using what we have to serve other people. And that was an invaluable lesson, and he still serves in many, many ways, and he's very, very generous in many ways. And he also really values the community of family, so much so that they moved across the street from us, from Las Vegas. So he's a communal guy, and that wasn't something that I was used to. That wasn't something that was necessarily provided for me when I was a kid, but in an adult, he taught me that, about how important it is to be around family, and there's nothing more comforting than to know that you have family around that loves you and supports you no matter what. But even then, our relationship isn't perfect either. We both do things wrong. He's not a perfect dad, and I'm not a perfect son. But then I've got a third dad, right? And here's where my time alone with God comes in, is because God is my third dad. But the more I come to know him, the more I realize that he was actually my first dad. He knew me even before I was born, even before my biological and my stepfather knew me, because he created me. He had me in mind, and he created me just exactly the way that I am, and he loves me just the way that I am. Though I am not perfect, he still loves me, and it's because I'm his son. And that's an identity that a lot of us struggle with, as being sons and having a father, because like my biological dad and my stepdad, they aren't perfect men. And they make mistakes, and I make mistakes as a dad to my daughter and my son. But the reality is I have a perfect dad. We all have a perfect father who loved us even before we were created, and he created us just in exactly the way he wanted to create us. So many things that we see as a fault, God sees as a strength. And I think the reason why is because we misapply things, because we don't really understand who we are and we don't really understand how we were created. As an adult, the most influential dad in my life now is God the Father, and I'm so thankful for him, and I'm glad that he has adopted me as his son. I guess what I'd like to encourage you guys with, I know that I have some females that watch my channel as well, but you might actually be filling that dad role. But what I want to encourage you guys in is that you guys, you might see things as a fault, but God sees it as a strength. And though you may misapply it, with his help you can apply your strengths and your characters that God has created you with, so that you can actually be a better dad, a better husband. And we need you. The families need you. And you see this a lot, where the dad is missing, things go terribly, terribly wrong, and oftentimes, and the cycle begins for different troubles in life. So I want to encourage you guys that though you're not perfect, you have a Heavenly Father, and if you would trust in him and learn from him, that you can be an amazing component of your family, which you already are, I know, but you can be even better, and you can see yourself as possibly the most influential identity in your family, and you have an opportunity to lead your family in a way that God would have it, so that they can achieve maximum joy, maximum success. And there's nothing more comforting than that than to be close to family. So I just want to encourage you to draw close to your Father, to know him, allow him, or allow yourself to be known. Not that God doesn't know you, but so that you can know yourself, so that you can be the best dad that you can be. So anyway, guys, happy Father's Day. I hope you guys are enjoying it like I am. And thank you so much for watching my channel. If you haven't already clicked the subscribe button or the like button, go ahead and do that. I'd really appreciate that, and I'll look forward to seeing you guys again. Remember, I'm Matt the Lawn Care Little Guy. Pray for me. I'll be praying for you. Lord bless.